Hi, I'm Michelle Koppel. I'm an enrolled agent specializing in the Employee Retention Tax Credit. And today we have breaking news, and that is that the IRS has paused processing of the ERC for any new applicants. So this pause goes through the end of the year. So no new claims are going to be processed. This is not an end to the Employee Retention Tax Credit. This is a pause to protect taxpayers from scams. So tax professionals such as myself have been asking the IRS to put a halt to the scammers. And the scammers are just these pop-up people who are just started doing the ERC, and they're not really tax professionals, or they're not a firm that is a tax professional. So what does this mean for you? If you have already filed for the ERC, then hopefully you did it with a tax professional who is very familiar with the laws, because the IRS is going to go back and be looking at the applications so that we do not have fraud and people claiming the refund who didn't qualify to claim it. So what that means for you, first of all, is it's going to be delayed, and anything that's being processed right now, of course, they're going to continue to process. But anything new that's coming in, they're not going to start until the beginning of 2024 to process those. So what they're saying is it's a 90-day processing time frame. I haven't seen it be that short mostly, but that you get your check in 90 days. But now it's going to be 180 days is their estimate from the time that you file to the time that you get your refund. So delay, that's number one. Number two is if you have not filed it, if you were not eligible, you can withdraw that claim to avoid having any problems with the IRS, and they suggest that you do that. But they have also, let me share my screen here. So this is the IRS notice, and you can read through this yourself. We'll leave a link to this. Due to aggressive marketing, due to fraudulent claims, it's a complex program. So if you're doing this, you need to be doing all the qualifications properly. If you've worked with me, you know that I've gone through an interview with you, and I have laws. I have all the laws that suspended you. What do I think is going to happen? I think they're going to deny some of the claims. They are going to audit some of the claims. And who are they going to go after? I think likely they will be looking at Form 941X. And right here on the last page, paid preparer. They should all have a PTIN. That's a taxpayer identification number, preparer taxpayer identification number. They can look up from that and they can see, are you licensed? Are you an enrolled agent? Are you a CPA? Is this firm a CPA firm? Are you in good standing with the IRS? Who is it that's processing your form? I think that's going to be one thing that's going to happen. As you know, the IRS put out forms this last year asking people to turn in firms that were just doing the ERC and applying a lot of marketing and just claiming falsely that you qualified. The other thing here is the IRS is asking you to check your eligibility. Were you really eligible? If I did your form, you were, because I qualified you. So here, were you suspended? Was it from a law? Were you recovery started business? So on and so forth. These are all the IRS links. So we should go through the checklist and see that we qualified. If you're working with a qualified tax professional, I don't think you have to worry about that part. Who are they going to go after? I think is looking at who's preparing the form, who's been turned into the IRS as a problem, as a preparer. They're probably going to look at the different states. Now I know California has really strict suspension rules, and I've done a lot of work in California, and I feel really secure about those laws. They partially suspended almost everyone. So I can't see really going after people who have their business in California in a very big way. They're going to probably look at people who had big refunds and they just want to make sure that really a qualified tax professional has done your work. So this does not mean you should not be filing for the ERC. It just means you should be certain who you're filing with. Don't always go looking for the cheapest price for something. Go looking for somebody who is going to make sure that they have followed all of these rules and the checklist that I just showed you on the link, that they've saved laws. I could show you, I've got many, many documents of laws for the states that I work on. And that way, if you have an audit, there's the laws, there's the narrative, there's your story, here's how it ties into the laws. And I have a whole videotape on that, so I won't repeat it. It's how to qualify by partial suspension is one of them, and also recovery startup business is another one. So look at those. So what else it's going to mean is that if you're filing now, they're not going to look at it till 2024. So it's just going to be, don't expect to get a check till at least March, but move forward. I would say move forward with a trusted tax professional and get the process going, make sure it's done correctly. We have the deadline coming up, the final deadline being April 15th, 2020, and that's hitting right at a tax deadline. So your tax professionals are not going to be wanting to wait till the last minute to file this form. It's a very tedious, involved process. It takes a lot of expertise, and you should be filing with a professional who's very familiar with all of the laws. So thank you. This is Michelle Koppel. I'm an enrolled agent specializing in the ERC.